What's up, gang? We are back at the Tapper. This will be part 7 of the Tapper Restore. I want to show you, we got this nice clean edge right here on this side. But what did I do to this side? Stick around and I'll let you know. Alright, before we get started, let's kind of do a small, quick recap. We have new side art on here. We had the classic mossy oak Tapper, or what else what's the other one? Timber art that you see, which I'll show a little picture of it. It's definitely greener. This looks great. The artwork's fantastic. We also had a hole punched out in the front here for a dollar bill acceptor, which that looked fantastic. We took care of that. And then take a look at, sorry about my dirty floor, the difference in the brass between what it was before and now. And I don't have the ends out, but we will take care of those. So we have all of that stuff taken care of with the outside of the cabinet. On the inside, we've worked some on the board. We've finished up the monitor and started our wiring, and we made about half to 3/4 of the harness. We just made a new harness because it was pretty hacked up. This is actually a circuit that the last guy built so that all 3 boards boot up at the same time. This basically mimics what the original power supply did, and then what the adapter that you can get from Arcade Shop and other places like that. But he built his own. There's a couple good relays and stuff on there, so that's good parts anyway. But I'm gonna have to build my own. I'm just not gonna make it. This thing is chaotic, and it was hooked into like a JAMA harness. No, it was like a proprietary harness for some other game, and then almost every wire in that harness was used as a daisy chain ground. It was nuts. So I just cut it out, and I can figure that out on my own. And really, it's not even worth it. $45, $5, $10 in shipping. We can have the adapter here, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. Do want to talk about, before we get started real quick, going to be going back to work soon, but I am now that we're into the new year, and January and February are past, which are slow months for YouTube pay. We're gonna get back into the regular schedule, so it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday and Sunday, and either Saturday or Sunday or both will be the long video. So we're gonna get back to that, and when I get back to work, I have everything set up so that I'll be able to film better now. We don't have any music to worry about and stuff like that in the background. And we also have Comic-Con coming up, so we're going to have an arcade set up at Comic-Con. I'm not sure what the format is, if it's going to be pay to play or the free play like we usually do. But it should be fun, and I'm hoping I'll get to be there every day that the games are there. So if you guys want to come out for that, I will keep you posted. But let's get into what we need here as far as this job. Let me grab this. The first and most important part of putting T-molding on is having the T-molding, of course, whatever color that you like. I'm using black right now, and I'm not sure if we're going with black or we have some pinstripe blue we might put on here, or no, we do have some where we're trying to match the brass and see how that looks, whether it's gold or I think there is a brass color too. But the next most important thing, rubber mallet. You don't need a giant one. Just any one will do. This one actually came from Dollar Tree before. Everything was $1.25. Saved myself 25 cents. You need some regular size snips. These are for the heavy duty cutting part of it. And then for the finesse and the finishing touches, you want some that cut flush so that you can have a nice flat end. These here, you can still do the job, but let me see if we can show it. It's rounded on the end, so it always looks like somebody took a bite out of it. You can still make it work if that's all you have. Let's see, and then if you get in trouble, you might need some painter's tape, and if you need that, you might need the scissors. And if that doesn't work, super glue. But I should be able to talk you through all those different things. The last thing would be the black marker. And if you don't have a black, I use a black paint pen. And if you don't have a black paint pen, you can use a Sharpie or anything black. And I got to give a shout out to Ralph. I picked this up off of Ralph. And this is in the intro if you were wondering why I never got back to this. What I do is I just outline the edge of this wood with this black, and then I'll come back and you can kind of see there's a white edge to the art. I'll hit that with the paint pen too. And then when our T-molding comes and lays flat over this, you won't see this bright yellow wood sticking out from underneath it. This black line will cover it. It's not anything that's spectacular, but it's the fact that you don't notice it is the actual nice part of it. I will show you the difference here soon. So we're going to start on the top up here in the back. Basically, we just have a piece that comes up and around here, down to there on each side. And then we'll have a piece that comes just around this corner and down to the bottom. And that on each side. So we only have a couple bad curves here to hit. This one's easy here and nothing there. So should be simple. Let me get the camera set up so that I can actually, before we do that, I want to show you guys how I start before we get all up in the air and stuff. Okay, so let me see if I can blot out a lot of this background so it's not so busy. Okay, so here's the T-molding. See how it's kind of cut at an angle here? Now this is what I was telling you about. First, let's go over this. It's T-molding because it's in the shape of a T, if we can get it in focus there. And then if you look, you can see the little teeth kind of on the sides, and that's what helps grab it inside this groove here that goes all the way up the middle. So you're going to shove the T part. My tripod all of a sudden wanted to fold up on me. I got all my hands full. Where we go here? Give me an end. So this part here obviously is going to go down in the groove. This is going to go flat over the top. But let me show you how I start it. I get a good spot here from the end. I cut through that, and then I cut through this way. Okay, so now I have a section. Get it this good on camera. I have a section that's not a T, it's just a top piece, right? So that's going to make it easier for my flush cutters to come through here and cut just this straight piece off. I don't have to cut through the T, or the, I don't even know what you want to call that. But then I can come through with these, and I didn't cut far enough back. There's kind of a gross spot there I wanted to cut out. Yeah, not a very good not a very good example, but I'm sure you understand what I'm getting at. So once you have this part taken off underneath, it's much easier to just cut straight across there. I just had a big kind of burr spot on there that I wanted to cut off, and I didn't pull enough of this back. Let me just go ahead and do that again. We have plenty of T-molding. Okay, come on here. Stop watching in the camera. Okay, so there we go. And now I should be able to come through here and get a much better 90-degree shot. And this will be our starting piece. It's not great still. I'm gonna leave myself just a little extra over there to cut off camera so that I can make sure it's perfect, but you guys won't have to deal with that when you're doing it. It still kind of looks like somebody took a bite out of it. Okay. Come on. All right. So that we got a nice flat piece instead of that angled piece that we have. And so next, okay, I'm not zoomed in. Thought I was. Next, I'm going to get us up here where you can see where I'm aligning this. And then, like I said, we're going to come across the top, and I'll show you how to notch it for that. All right, I don't know how good the light's going to be or how good this angle is, but basically it's just going straight down on top and right where you want it to go. And the important part's going to be over here anyway. Let's go ahead and get it started. And you just start where the groove starts. It's going to be easiest to just go right here at the end. Good, nice, solid shot. Oh, there went some of my washers. All right, let me see if you guys can see where I'm at even. Okay, so this little spot up here at the top isn't going to be a big deal. It's just going to go right over it. We don't have to worry about any trim. To this corner, and we'll zoom in and I'll show you what I do there. All right, we got another funky angle, and so here I'm going to kind of do like we did in the very beginning, and I'm going to cut a V out of this T section here that goes in the groove. Now with that V missing, that'll keep this from hitting itself and pinching, and so it'll allow it to go cleanly around the corner over here. Let's see, there we go. Oh, that's great editing. Okay, so you can see the V there. It's pretty easy and simple. T-molding's easy as long as your groove is nice here, then you really won't have very many problems. But I will show you what to do if we don't run across it. Okay, so this one goes in at an angle, and this one comes in this way. I'm gonna put a V here Back up here. Okay, so as I was saying, this one comes around at a much more gradual angle. And this one, since it's convex instead of concave or the other way around, we don't have to worry about it kinking up as much because of that center tab. But I am going to go ahead and cut a small V in this one, even though I don't think it needs it, but might as well. It's not going to hurt anything. Cut this way first. I feel like it's so dark in here. I have all this light. As soon as I turn away from what we're looking at, I can't see anything. All right. Are we in frame? We are in frame. See, we didn't have to worry about that one there. Got a little bit of extra black paint going around that corner. Okay, and then see, we're down here now, and we are going to end it right here so we know about where we can cut. And that's going to be hidden by the control panel, so we don't have to worry about that too much as far as it being pretty. But we don't do ugly work around here. Actually, it shows it going around down to here, so we can just fake the funk there. You know, it'll be somewhere in here. As long as it's somewhere in there, you're all right. Thought I heard Willow playing in the hallway about to come down. All right, that gets rid of all this extra T-molding scrap that we don't need. Now, when I do this at the very end, you don't want to do a big piece like this because obviously you're cutting your friction on your groove in here. So if there's nothing there, it'll just flap around. So you don't want to cut it off too deep. You want to just do as much as you're going to trim off. That way everything's still got some bite to it. These things aren't very sharp. Not very flush either. Alright, so let's get our hammer. I think I'm going to cut it off up here. Something else is going to be in that groove, I think, for the control panel. I did want to go in there, though. Let's see. That's going to put us about here. Just have to roll with the punches. See whatever looks best. Like I said, I don't think we're going to use this T-molding anyway. I think we're going to go with the gold look the best. This is it's black, but it's not the flat black. It looks like the synthetic leather. I'm going to kind of go around this. I'll do this off camera to make sure it's a little bit better. But you can see where there's no yellow sign, line of pine that's in there. So if we didn't put that black marker, not that it's a big deal, but you'd be able to see the wood in between. It just kind of detracts a little bit from the look, I think. Gonna fall down. Okay, so that is the first piece there. Let's get set up and then we'll come over here and we'll do this bottom piece. So I was questioning my length here on the T-molding on the right side for where this cup holder was going to sit. And so I brought the cup holder over here and had it sitting here, and I had the control panel. And I haven't put the mounting brackets or anything back in it yet. Well, it slipped out of my hand, and I was like, no, don't hit the side art. And so I kind of just let it fall a little bit farther away from the side art, and it fell straight down and hit the control panel. That's done. Bounced off the control panel and then dinged the corner of the cabinet anyway. The cabinet spot's way down here. It's underneath where the T-molding is going to be. No big deal. But it took a ding out of the control panel. And here's the picture here of what it looked like. And that's... You can see it. You can definitely feel it. It's good enough to fake for camera shots, but that's just unacceptable. We have to put a new overlay on it anyway. And aside from that, I screwed up this Budweiser guy here. See, it's kind of tapered on either end. And so I grabbed my brand new utility knife and I started to cut down, and it just went way off on its own. I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, well, let's do the other side. Way worse. I'm like, what is going on? I was being so careful. So I gotta get some more of those anyway. It's only like $10 or something like that. It's not that big of a deal, but it was like I was being so careful, and it did it worse than the first time. Just been having it out with that control panel. Too funny. But okay, let's go ahead and get this last side done, or this second half of the first side. I did cut myself a good spot somewhere. And actually, I am going to notch this going around this turn here. Let's go ahead and do it now. I think that's our only needed notch. This has to be like the easiest cab to put T-molding on. So if you were needing to replace your T-molding on your Tapper cab and you've never done it before, this is definitely a good one to learn on. You might have to show some tips already, because it didn't want to fit in there very well. And a little blowout on the art up here. Fix that with a little glue. There we go. Definitely not having a problem with it being too loose. But I do want to show you, let's say you couldn't get it to stick in through here. It just kept popping out because your groove wasn't tight enough. Well, then you take the painter's tape. Let me see if I can get out of the light. Take that painter's tape and just make this part with the teeth on it just a little bit fatter wherever you're having a problem. And then hammer it in there, and it should wedge itself in there. That way you don't have to worry about gluing it in and never being able to get it off. Let's see, down here it looks like I have a little bit of Bondo in the groove. Not sure what I'll use to get that out with. Hopefully it's not a lot. No. Just tiny little bit. Perfect. So coming up next, aside from Tapper, before I go back to work, we need to finish Defender, and I want to pull Kangaroo out, and I want to fix the sound on it, and also there's that line of background graphic that's missing, and get that fixed. I'm gonna take it to, I think, the mall in Kansas City, and then I'll finish doing the cabinet work there. But I'm better equipped to work on boards here. I guess this time I have to take everything with me. All right. All right, well, I'm going to redo that one because that one's not long enough. I can still kind of see it a little bit at the bottom. Like just right, just a little bit too short. Dang it. I also see, let me get a better view for us. There's some spots right here in this groove that need to be touched up. Paint there. Some little things. But I think that is looking good. But I'm basically just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. No point in showing that. If you want, I can just flip-flop this first half of this video and play it again. I do have, let's see, hang on one second. I want to compare the cup holders to the brass rail and see, I want to see what that looks like. What's up, gang? These are, or this is one of the two cup holders for Tapper. I think I like the color, and the only thing I don't like is you can still see a lot of the damage that's been done to the metal, a lot of the pitting that's been done to it. So I think I'm going to sand it down just a little bit, and then just going to run over these real deep scratches and stuff with a little Bondo, and then sand it down and primer it and see if we can't get it to look a little bit smoother, a little bit newer. Now let me try. Let me take this gold down a little bit, and then we'll add some Bondo and see how that looks. And kapow, just that fast. All right, I can give you a little bit better look at these gashes in the paint. You can see there that it's pretty deep on that one. This one's pretty deep. And then there's just several in here that are visible for sure. And then I think it was up here, or maybe it's right here. I did put a little bit of Bondo in on this first little test coat just to see how it looked, and that's why that one side did look better than the other side. But let's see if I can hit it just right. You can see the little pock marks and stuff. It's not that bad, but just a little bit of Bondo in it I think will make it look almost perfect. And then there is a couple gouges here. This will probably be hidden by the control panel, but I'm going to take care of it anyway. And then we'll Bondo this one up and see how it looks after it's sanded, and then we'll take a look at the other one. So here is the one where I put the Bondo on it. Let's see if we can, there's the really big gash, and you can still feel it just a little bit There's the other one there. I can't really feel that one at all. So I'm going to go over that with just a little bit more Bondo, I think. And then I can't tell with this until I get obviously I need to sand that down a little bit more, but I can't tell how well I got that until I shoot a coat of primer on it probably and see how nice it looks. But let's take a look at the other two, or the other cup holder. It also, it needs to have some Bondo work done to it, but I just kind of wanted to, I just clobbered it. I wanted to kind of check the color here. It's going to be kind of hard. It looks pretty good. Cup holder's a little darker, but it just really depends on the light that you catch either one of them at. And let me set them down on the ground. Be right back. I threw them on that blanket, that way it makes it a little bit easier to compare and the contrast of the two. I think it's a pretty good match. I will have to check the T molding, but we have two different kinds and two different colors to try. But I think color looks good there, so I'm gonna sand both of those down and fill them in with Bondo just on the little bitty cracks and crevices. It's actually really easy. I'm just nitpicking at this point, really. And then after that, we can go back to this control panel. All we got to do is put it together and wire it up, and then the only thing we're waiting on is the board. Oh, we got to put the the kick rail back here on the bottom, and then this is the mounting hardware for the coin door bucket on the inside, which I also painted those gold too, or brass, whatever you want to say there. But yeah, it's coming along. As soon as this board is done, we'll be done. We just have to film it. All right, thanks for watching, and like I said, stay tuned. We got a couple, want to try to get Defender or Stargate and Kangaroo pretty much wrapped up, at least gameplay and audio and stuff wise, and that should be in the next 2 videos or so, couple days. Thanks for watching.
Yup. So good.
These two right here are going to be ground and 5 volts. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is, a nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted, I got what I wanted, and a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
What happened? Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.